Have you ever wondered about a people who carved mountains to build palaces and would say, laughs, "Who is more powerful than us?" But when the command of the heavens arrived, their palaces were buried beneath the earth. After Prophet Noah, peace be upon him, another nation emerged. They lived in the region of Al-Ahqaf, between Yemen and Oman. Their city was called Iram, of the pillars, a city that spoke to the sky. Their bodies were as strong as mountains, their height touching the clouds, and their pride pierced the heavens. They would say, "We are the heirs of the earth, and we will always remain so." In the sands of Al-Ahqaf, their urban areas stretched far and wide. The ground shook under the steps of their horses. At night, the lights of their lamps shone from afar, as if their city was a crown on the earth. In their gatherings, they would often say, "People like us will never be born again." Even their children showed strength at a young age, lifting stones to display their power, while the elders proudly said, "Our children are also those who can make mountains bow." They held an unusual belief. They thought the wind obeyed them. Young men would stand in the valleys, stretch their arms and say, "See, the wind serves our bodies." The elders would proudly say in their councils, "Our ancestors even commanded the wind. Who can stop us?" When they saw storms approaching from afar, they would laugh and say, "The wind is on our side. It will strike our enemies, not us." But little did they know, the coming wind would become their greatest enemy. These people were not just tall. Their physiques were many times stronger than ordinary humans. Their footprints are still found along the riverbanks among the mountains, leaving people amazed. Their house doors were so tall that a horse and its rider could fit inside, and their cooking vessels were made of stone, so huge that a whole clan's meal could be cooked in one pot. Time passed, pride grew, arrogance increased. Then Allah sent His prophet, Hud, peace be upon him, who said, "O my people, worship only Allah. There is no deity besides Him." The people replied, "Why should we abandon the religion of our ancestors? We are powerful. No one can stop us." Prophet Hud, peace be upon him, warned, "I am warning you of a punishment that you cannot even imagine." But in hearts filled with pride, advice shatters like a stone hitting another stone. Every day, Hud, peace be upon him, would go to their markets, palaces, and doorsteps to deliver the final message. Sometimes their leaders would laugh and say, "If your words had any power, our palaces would have already fallen." Sometimes children mocked his voice, and some people avoided him, fearing Allah might enter their hearts. One day, Hud, peace be upon him, went to their assembly, where the leaders sat on golden thrones. He said, "Observe the order of Allah's creation. Your strength is nothing." But the leaders laughed. "Stop your small warnings. If punishment comes, we will stop it with our power." A few days before the punishment, a strange event occurred in their valley. At night, a deep sound echoed from the sky. No clouds rumbled, no lightning flashed, but it felt as if someone was calling from afar. They thought it was the mountains speaking. Hud, peace be upon him, said, "This is not a call of mercy. It is a warning." The next night, the ground shook lightly. The animals were disturbed, but humans laughed, saying, "Even the earth fears our strength." Little did they know, it was the earth's final protest. Then Allah's decree came. First, a drought struck. For 3 years, not a single drop of rain fell. Rivers dried up. Trees withered. The land turned to stone. People looked to the sky, waiting for rain, but the heavens remained silent. The first year, they thought, this is a minor issue. we are strong. The second year, thirst cracked their tongues. Empty pots clanged against walls. Animals fell from dehydration. The third year, the laughter, pride, and voices of Ad vanished from the land that once claimed to challenge the heavens. When the people came to Hud, peace be upon him, they did not cry. They only said, "The time for punishment is near." Then one day, 3 clouds appeared, one red, one white, and one black. An angel called from the sky, "O people of Ad, choose one cloud." The leaders laughed. "The black one has water. It is mercy." But little did they know, it held not mercy, but doom. The sky darkened. The wind turned cold. The people began dancing and shouting, thinking rain had come. But it was not water. It was the storm of punishment. The first gust blew dust and stones. With every blow, they felt the wind erasing their names. The second gust toppled trees, carried animals away. Their idols, pride, gardens, and cities scattered in the wind. The third gust lifted humans into the air. Their palaces, once touching the sky, crumbled beneath the sand. The storm continued for 7 nights and 8 days. The sky roared, the earth trembled, and their city, their pride, all was swallowed by the sand. Allah said, "The people of Ad have been destroyed by the powerful storm." When the winds ceased, only silence remained. Just the sea of sand and hollowed trunks of palm trees. But the few who believed with Hud, peace be upon him, were saved. Allah granted them refuge in a valley among the mountains. Hud, peace be upon him, said, "O my Lord, you are most merciful. Keep us on the paths that lead to you." When Hud, peace be upon him, stood above the ruined city, tears filled his eyes. These were the people who once said, "Who is more powerful than us?" And now even their living evidence was scattered in the wind. Hud, peace be upon him, said, "Arrogance always leads to destruction, and disobedience to Allah brings annihilation." Even today, beneath the sands of Al-Ahqaf lies the buried city of Iram, as a testimony that respect and honor come not from power or pride, but from obedience to Allah. This is not just a story, it is a reality, a reminder that when humans become arrogant and commit injustice, Allah destroys them. If you liked this Quranic story, like this video, comment which nation's story you want to see next, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.